Hello students, welcome to JRF with Ria. In this video we are going to discuss about the arid and semi-arid geomorphology. First is aeolian environment. Aeolian environment are those in which sediment deposition is primarily governed by wind. They are typically associated with arid environment, which areas that received less than 250 mm per year precipitation. For two main reasons. First is water is a much more powerful transport agent than air due to its fluid property, so a lack of water is prerequisite for air to be the dominant sedimentary force. And the second is lack of water leads to scarce vegetation, which further facilitate wind driver erosion because vegetation can stabilize sediment and prevent it from being easily moved around. Thus, the most common aeolian environments are rocky desert and ergs. Ergs is the technical terms of sandy deserts. Another less common aeolian environment includes area with glacial outwash where melting ice has released lowest sediment and plants have not yet had time to stabilize it. Now look at the wind erosion processes. The three processes of wind erosion are surface creep, saltation and suspension. Characteristics of each are outlined below. First is surface creep. The surface creep in a wind erosion event, large particles ranging from 0.5 mm to 2 mm in diameter are rolled across the soil erosion. This causes them to collide with and dislodge other properties. Surface creep wind erosion result in this larger particle moving only a few meters. The next is saltation. Saltation occurs among middle-sized soil particles that range from 0.05 mm to 0.5 mm in diameter. Such particles are light enough to be lifted off the surface but are too large to become suspended. These particles move through a series of low bounds over the surface, causing abrasion on the soil surface and attrition. Attrition is the breaking of particles into small particles. And the next is suspension. Suspension is teeny particles less than 0.1 mm in diameter can be moved into the air by saltation, forming dust storms when taken further upwards by turbulence. These particles include very fine grain of sands, clay particles and organ matters. However, not all dust ejected from the surface is carried in the air indefinitely. Larger dust particles, they are 0.05 to 0.1 mm, may be dropped within a couple of kilometers of the erosion site. Particles of the order of 0.01 mm may travel hundreds of kilometers and 0.001 mm sized particles may travel thousands of kilometers. Through these processes, Australian soil has been carried to New Zealand and beyond. Fine dust may remain in suspension in the air until it washed out by rainfall. Now come on to the erosional landforms of wind. First is depletion basin, a depression in the land that can be found in desert due to the removal of particles by wind. It can also be referred to as a blowout. The next is ventifact. Rock samples that demonstrate the erosion caused by aeolian process over time. Erosional processes by wind can result in smoothing and polishing as well as the creation of grooves. And the next is mushroom. Formations that develop over thousands of years when the top of an outcrop is eroded by wind at a slower rate than the base of the outcrop. The next is lag deposit. Angular rocks and sand grains that have been left behind during the gradual removal of finer particles by aeolian process. Lag deposits can also form due to removal of finer particles by water. The yard dung. A protruding rock that result from a streamlined carving from consolidated materials by wind, abrasion by dust and sand and deflations. Now look at the depositional landforms of wind. First is dunes. A dune is a large pile of wind-blown materials, typically sand or snow. As the pile accumulates, its larger surface area increases the rate of deposition in a positive feedback loop until the dune collapses under its own weight. This process causes dunes to move in the direction of the wind over time. The next is Barkhan dune, a type of dune that formed as a result of low sediment supply in regions where wind blows is one primary direction. This causes the dune to have a concave shape with the tails facing downwinds. Transverse dune and sheep dunes are some alternative examples of the effect of unidirectional airflow on dune formation. The next is ripple marks. Ripple marks are small ridges of sediment that form due to wind or water blowing over loose sediment in either current or wave pattern. Aeolian ripples result from the high velocity wind which form fine, well-sorted grain particles into long, flat, asymmetrical ripples. The next is loess. Silt-sized particles that can be carried by the wind over extensive distances, usually homogeneous and highly porous. Generally, loess contains angular grain that are not well polished due to the nature of their transport. The next is desert pavement. Angular rocks and sand grains that form a pavement due to inflation. Aeolian forces deposit sand grains between and beneath surrounding rocks, which result in the rise of a stony layer of pavement. Desert pavement can also form as a result of deflation, in which case finer rock particles are blown away and scattered by winds, leaving the pavement behind. The next is desert varnish, a coating that can be found on the surface of desert rocks that can only be explained by the presence of clay particles which have been transported by wind. This discoloration of the clay can most often be attributed to black manganese oxide and red iron oxide. Okay, that's all for this session. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep learning.